Video. Right now I got a request to do an invoice video. So I'll be doing an invoice showing you what are some of this information you gotta put on an invoice. It's different ways to do invoices, it's different informations to put on there. So the one I do, you might see somebody else do it different, or you might see somebody else put stuff on there that I don't put on mine. Bottom line, what it come down to, when you book a load, you want to find out from whoever you book the load from, how do you get paid and how do they want you to submit the invoice, also what information you gotta put on the invoice. Sometimes you find that out from the person you book the load from. Sometimes it's a different department that handles stuff like that. But a lot of times the department that handle your invoices, their email address will be on the rate card. It'll say something like submit all PODs to whatever email address is listed there, or submit all documents after delivery to whatever email address there. You might find some people still getting theirs by fax, and then also you have some scenario, not a lot, that they'll request the original copy of the POD. So if they request the original copy of the POD, you could still email them a copy, but you have to turn around and mail it to them also. If you have a Mac, there's already an invoice template on it. So you could just go to that template and put in your information in there. If you have a laptop that don't have the template, you could always Google up a template, or you could create your own template. Since I already have a template on here that I use numerous times and it worked for what I need it for, I just go ahead and keep using it. So if you go to pages right here, click on pages, then you're going to go to a new document, and this where you'll find the template. You scroll all the way down to the bottom, and under miscellaneous you'll say invoice. Double click on it and that'll open up the invoice. Now this is an example of the invoice template. This is exactly how it come already on your laptop if you have a Mac. What you want to do is you want to double click wherever you're trying to change information, you want to double click it. So for the company name, you want to go ahead and put in your company name, which is, I'll just use Island Dredge or Island Transport. I'm not going to put dredge in. So you put your company name in there. You could make it bigger, you could make it smaller, you could change the color, you could change the font. So you could play around with it, whatever you want to put in there. Just play around with it. Some people are real meticulous about stuff like this. You gotta be a certain color. Also, if you have a certain color scheme that your company, a color that represents your company, everything that you see in blue, you could switch it to that color if you want to. Or if you just want to switch just your writings, like your letters and your numbers, to that color, you can. I try to keep it all black or whatever it comes as. So you put your company name at the top. Right here say invoice, so they know it's an invoice. Right here, you put your phone number right here, and all you do is just double click it, and you could put a number in there. Email, same thing, double click it, they highlight, and you just start typing. And it's good to have an email address at your, whatever your company name is, at your companyname.com. It look more professional to a lot of people. Just like with me, I get a lot of dispatchers that reach out to me, asking if I'm looking for a dispatcher or if I'm looking for loads, if I need help booking loads and stuff like that. Even some brokers reach out to me sometime and they have a at Gmail email account, and most of the time I don't even take them serious. It's not something you have to do, but it's something I recommend if you really serious about this thing right here. Then down here you put in your address. Same thing, you double click it, then you could type whatever you want to type in there. And you go over here where it say attention. If you're sure the person name in accounting that you sending it to and they request that it be filled out like that, you do it like that. If not, you could put in like billing department or something similar to that. So whenever they get this invoice, they know which department it's supposed to go to. I don't like putting a person name in there because if that person quit, I send this to that person. I mean, they might still process it, but to avoid any situation like that where it's a possibility, I just put the billing department in there, or whatever department handled their invoices. Down here where it say title, you could put the person title if you know it. I just what I do, I take title out of it, and then I just move down to the company name. Company name, company address. This is who you did the load for. So if you did a load for TQL, you'll put in TQL right here where it says company name. Then you put TQL address down here. Then you put the date, today's date, whatever date you're doing the invoice. Then we move down to project title. I take out the project title out of it. If it's a special project that you work on for this broker, you could put the title of the project in there. Most of my loads are not that situation, so I just take that out. Project description. For me, most of my loads are drayage. So where it say project description, I just put drayage in there. And that's optional. You don't necessarily have to put anything in there. You could just erase the whole line right there and move on down to your PO number. When you look on your rate con, if you have a PO number on your rate con, you put it right here. A lot of the information that goes on the invoice will be on your rate con. So you put your PO number right here from your rate con. Your invoice number, that will be your number. So if you have a numbering system that you're using, January 1st, you might number it as 0101 and then put the year 23 if you're going with a 4-digit invoice number. You're going with a 6-digit invoice number, you might put 0101 2023. Or if you have another numbering system that you're using, whatever your invoice number is that you're up to, you put the invoice number right here. the term. You have some broker that pay in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. Whatever term you agree to with the broker, you put the term in there. If you're not sure, you could erase this whole line right here and just leave it blank. If you're doing quick pay, a lot of them with quick pay within 2 or 3 days. So you could put 2 days or 3 days right there. Now, this is an invoice that you're sending to the broker or the customer you're working with directly. If you factor in your load, this is not how you do your invoice. Now I move down to line 1, which is going to be a description. Basically what you did, you pick up a load from point A, which going to be could be ABC shipping. That's the name of the warehouse you pick up from, wherever they're located. You put the street, city, state, zip code. Then underneath that, you're going to put where you deliver to. Same thing, name of the company, XYZ Logistics. Street, city, state, and zip. Okay. I always put all that stuff on there. That way they have all the information. Even though it will be on your rate con and it will be on your POD, which is your BOL, but I still put it on here. Make sure everybody on the same page. Over here, quantity, I put 1. This is not how many pieces you haul, not how much will you haul value. This is the load you did. You only did 1 load for them from point A to point B. The rate that you and them agree on, so you agree on $1,000. You put it right there. If you want to, you could put your miles up there also. You could either create another line. So you want to add a column before. So you add a column right here. And the way you add the column, you go up to this arrow right here, arrow down, and you'll say add a column before. So if you had add a column before, you'll put an extra column right here where it say quantity, and you'll move quantity over one section, one column. If you add it after, right here where it say D, that's where the new column will go. And this column that's already D will move over to E, and everything else will move to the right, one column over. If you have an extra column in there like this blank column, you could go ahead and hit delete to delete it. So right here, you could put your miles right here if you want to. You went 200 miles. So basically you did 1 load from point A to point B. This your 1 load right here, 200 miles, and you pay $1,000. Down here at the bottom, these are optional. If you only did 1 load for this broker or this customer, you erase these and just highlight it and hit delete. Now if you had detention, Right here, number 3 that I have highlighted. If you had detention, you could put detention in there. Quantity, how many hours detention you have. You have 5 hours. Could leave this one blank. Unit. So if you're doing let's say you're doing $100 an hour for detention. You have 5 hours detention. Also, this template, you already have the calculation built into it. So whatever you have a quantity, once you put in your unit price, it automatically calculated for you. So 5 hours detention at $100 an hour is $500. So it calculate everything up for you. The taxes, I take out the taxes because we at a flat rate. So your total will be $1,500. Now, if you have anything else like chassis charge, say your base, you did an all-in rate of $1,000, which includes 1 day chassis or how much of a day's chassis you include in your all-in rate. But they end up getting 3 more days chassis charge, or this $1,000 don't include any chassis charge, but you end up having the chassis for 2 days. You want to go down here and put in your chassis. You have it for 2 extra days, so you put 2 in there. And I always try to put whatever the you're charging them for. You could either put it right here 2 days, or you could put it over here where you have chassis, and either put it in open and close quotations as day, so they'll know, okay, the charges per day. Unit price $35 a day, and they have it for 2 days. Once you click out of it, it automatically calculates it for you. Couple of other charges that you could have were like storage, overweight. You could have a split charge. And if you need me to do a video on just a list of charges that you could incur doing the container, just leave it in the comment, and I'll make a video on a list of charges that you might come across. So this basically your invoice right here. This one, then down at the bottom you could put whatever you want to put down there. Okay, that's your basic invoice. This includes just about everything that the customer gonna need to pay you. Now, once you do it like this, you want to go ahead and email it to the customer along with your rate con, your POD, and your EIRs, and any other receipts you have associated with this load. For example, if you had a lumper service, you email them a copy of the receipt also. If you pay the lumper out your pocket and then you're gonna get reimbursed for it, you also want to put it on this invoice right here. So that's basically your invoice. So what you want to do is go up to share and send a copy. You could send it by mail, which is by email, by messages. You could airdrop it. So basically, email it to them. What I normally do is I normally save it, and then I go over to my email, add all my other documents to my email along with this, and send it off to the customer. So that's how you do an invoice. That's how you invoice the customer to get paid. If you have any questions about the invoicing process, leave it in the comment and I'll make a video answering your question.